Papers are reporting this morning. Let's start off with the Nation newspaper, followed by the rest. Mark Aregbesola take over in conflict with ADC constitution. Nwosu Matara disagree on amendments of party rules. Nigeria News Direct says 2027 coalition of hunger, not rescue. Wike blast Obi, Atiku, Aregbesola, other ADC leaders. Daily Trust. Obi insists on 2027 contest as Atiku hints at running. Leadership newspaper. I'm running for president, not vice president. Obi declares, says Tinubu government lacks compassion. Your time has passed, Wike tells former Anambra governor. Abuja Inquirer. Wike steps up attack against Mark, Amechi, Obi, others. Says they are after their stomach, not Nigerians. Blueprint newspaper, Tinubu to troops. You have my full mandate to crush enemies of Nigeria. 9 Boko Haram wives arrested in Niger. IED cash uncovered on Marte Dikwa Bridge. The Guardian newspaper, oil theft eases despite $25.7 billion losses in 23 years as operators turn to barges. And then the Punch newspaper, 10 states borrow 417 billion naira despite higher allocations. Rivers, Taraba, top debt surge as 10 states account for 34% subnational domestic debt. Like Daily Independent, experts warn of deeper hardship despite IMF optimism on Nigeria. And this Nigeria speaks to the NDDC, saying that where is the missing 6 trillion naira in NDDC audit report? We'll talk about that in the course of our conversation. And the last but not least is the Sport Alive. Cassano tells Napoli, get Lookman now. Okay, so I'll be doing this with Etoma, Ria, as well as Olamide. You guys are welcome to the conversation. So let's look at the Nation newspaper, which I think we're starting off with politics. The Nation newspaper, Nigeria News Direct, Daily Trust, Leadership newspaper, as well as Abuja Inquirer. They're all united this morning about the politics of things, especially the coalition. We have the Nation newspaper saying, for instance, Mark Aregbesola take over in conflict with ADC constitution, and then the opposition is saying, this is even coming from within, coalition of hunger, not rescue. So we're having people coming together, coalescing, but what do they have to show for it is the question that the incumbent party is asking for.
For me, I think that question is coming too early. You know, the coalitions we've seen in Nigeria, the early stages like this is about identifying and agreeing that, look, I'm a member of the coalition and all that. And then after that, we're going to have wranglings within the coalition while they are negotiating this and that, you know, and that's what's happening now. The next thing I would like to see from the coalition is that they have an ideology they are pursuing. You know, if the ideology is in place and they all agree that they have an ideology, it might win some accolades for them and so on. But that they are having wranglings within, it definitely will happen. I expect it to happen at this time. All right. If it was happening, let's say 6-7 months from now, then I'll say, hey. You understand? So right now, this is the time for you to argue. This is the time for you to negotiate everything. And that's what is happening with the ADC right now.
And then if you look at Peter Obi saying that I'm running for president, not vice president. Others are saying that, well, they kind of bungled the chance that they had in 2023, where it could have been the vice president to Atiku Abubakar. But now we have Atiku Abubakar who is saying, I'm running for president. Obi is saying, I'm also running for president, but they are coalescing. They are saying that let's work together.
But you know, I said this on the table the other time. I said there's going to be a power tussle because I don't think anyone is going. Atiku will step down for Obi, or Obi wants to step down for Atiku, and we heard him say it categorically. He said, "I am running for president. I am not going to be anybody's vice." Now, what I agree with Atuma because I think I need them to stand the test of time. Because right about now we are even seeing that there's conflict between them. And I said it on this table that there will still be serious conflict between them. The consistency is what matters. We still have some time before we get to 2027. I hope that this party will still stand before we even get there, because you can see that there are so many differences. We see the differences with Aregbesola, that if Aregbesola, right, that joined. There people are talking about he's bending the constitution for the ADC. So many things are coming up. And when we talk about the hunger, the coalition, see, these politicians, we know them. If these were people that we did not know before, and I need people to understand that Nigerians are now smart. So we know these people, they have all held political positions before. So they need to try very harder with their ideology. I said it before and I'm saying it again. If they really want Nigerians to take them seriously, trust them, and even want to cast their vote for them, they need to go beyond, just saying that we want to take this president out. They need to start showing us this is what we can do, this is how we're going to do it.
Not this is what we want to do, but not how to do it. Yeah. I think I get that point. But if you look at this group of people, they're saying that...
Can I just say that I love the fact that Ria is so entrenched in Nigerian politics.
You never can tell.
All the way from Ghana.
If you lived in Ghana, maybe you would have been entrenched. Yeah.
So quite interesting thing is that these people whenever they talk, they say, yeah, Nigerian youth, they make up about 70% of the Nigerian population. We want to help them. We want them to do it. And if you look at these people talking, Oyegun is 86, Ikimi 81, Atiku 78, Lamido 76, Mark 77, Aregbe is 68, Nasir El-Rufai 65, Obi 63. And then they said, these are the youth that want to unseat the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. What do you make of that?
Very, very interesting, as always. These ages they're not small boys.
They are not small boys.
We would just say
they are not small youths.
They're not small youths. What I will often say is that when they come and they give this front of and this ideology that we want to help the youth, we want to save the youth, we want to involve the youth in our politics, they set a benchmark for where the youth involvement stops. Yeah. They put us as SAs and TAs and special assistants. They put us at a certain level and they don't allow us youth engage in the real politics at elite levels. And that bothers me. Yeah. I worry that a lot of our politicians, it's always a condescending relationship with the youth, a savior complex with the youth. We want to save the youth, we want to help the youth. I don't feel that they're working hand in hand with us, and that is a problem. They don't see us as political equals, and sometimes that is because they have bottlenecked our own political participation.
What if it's because the youths are very smart, and they wouldn't want to give them a chance before one small boy can't sit me.
and that is the problem. Is that we think these positions of leadership belong to us. We think we have agency over those political positions. That is why we can think a small boy will come. What is best for the country? Yeah. And I love the point that you raised. That we've been saying this since we found out about the coalition. The fact that, are you really coming together to give Nigeria a credible alternative, or are you just coming to unseat the current government? I will need to see more than photo ops right now. I will need to see this coalition operate as a credible and tangible political force, as opposed to just photo ops.
But if you look at it, it's within their rights to run for president. We've got Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe as they called him because of his old age.
We've
got Donald Trump, who is also quite elderly. We have them all around, in different countries. Apart from what we've seen in France, what we've seen in Canada. These are younger guys doing things, but it's still within their rights to run for president. But let's move on to the next newspaper. This is Blueprint saying that, okay, the president to troops, you have my full mandate to crush enemies of Nigeria. So we saw 9 Boko Haram wives arrested in Niger and IED cash uncovered in Marte Dikwa Bridge. So we've recorded casualties, on the side of our troops, and then we've also seen them decimate the bandits, the terrorists, but we are still at it over the years.
The president didn't need to give them an order.
No, he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Yes, so I know. He has every right to. I said he didn't need to give them an order for them to take a very hard stance against the Boko Haram. You don't treat situations like that with kids' gloves. Yes, there are some approvals you will need for you to go to an extent in the way you do your job, and rules of engagement, so to say, But my thinking is, if the military had been really hard, had been working with intelligence, had been recording lots and lots of successes, foiling attacks before they happen, and so on, Mr. President wouldn't have needed to give them this order. That's the point I'm making.
But if you look at the crisis happening on the African continent, Nigeria, talk about Rwanda, talk about South Sudan, it also has the hands of foreigners in it. Those people who are coming to mine our resources, those who are coming to steal us blind, they fuel these people so much so that it makes it even more difficult, because that's when you see the arms they carry. Some of them carry, you know, stronger arms than our own military.
They cannot fuel or fund these wars and these genocides, if you call them that, without Nigerian gatekeepers. Working in
but let Ria quickly come in.
But you know the thing, that's why I still say, why are our borders porous? When we now say that these people are foreign people, that's a big problem. Oftentimes we're speaking about our borders. How well are we securing these borders for these people to keep entering? You know, I feel like when it comes to insecurity in Nigeria, it's a big problem. On this table, we've spoken about it a couple of times. We've seen the Benue, Plateau, like we can go on and on. And I love what the president says. He said, you may go full mandate and crush enemies. And I feel like at this point, we need to go boots to boots with these people. This is not time for mercy. Because when we hear the massacre, you hear 200 people have died, 300 people have died.
That's right.
It's high time that we don't want to hear things like this. And the military, I feel like more can be done. They are doing enough. I give them the accolades. It's not easy to be on the forefront. You know, I'm sitting down back here and they are fighting for my safety. So I definitely give them all the accolades, but I feel like more can be done. And they didn't really need to wait for the president. These things need to be done. But the president has said this. Now I hope that it can be followed through. We don't want to wake up and see people still dying. Our borders, we've been talking about border security. Are we really, really securing our borders, or we are just sitting down and talking about securing borders?
That's right. That's right.
It's great to see the president take a hardline stance against separatists, against terrorism. When that word crush really stood out to me. He said, we want to crush our enemies. It almost sounds like this medieval order that a king would give, right? We want to crush our enemies and put their heads on spikes, if you will. Very interesting. But I will say, I think defending national unity is more than just an issue of force. We have to address the root causes that are causing terrorism in the north, in the Niger Delta. What are the root causes on a community level, at a baseline level? So it's great to give that order, but what is being done in the communities? I want to, for lack of a better word, what is the inside work that is being done on the grassroots? This order seems like this thing from so high up, and it's very vague. What are the policies put in place on the ground? But it's good to see that he gave that order and that we have a commander.
Yeah, absolutely. These are very critical questions that you've raised. But then let's move on to the Guardian newspaper, and I would love to piece it with this Nigeria. If you look at what the Guardian newspaper reads, it says oil theft eases despite $25.7 billion losses in 23 years as operators turn to barges. But if you look at that of this Nigeria, it says, where is the missing 6 trillion naira in NDDC audit report? Serap is asking president to prosecute officials, persons involved in alleged sleaze. Etoma, 6 trillion naira is no baby, because, you know, we did launch an investigation of forensic audit into something to keep the findings. Do we do it in order to just keep the findings under the table?
Why would you pay so much to do an audit if you're not going to use a report? So why the exercise in the first place? Why do we even have auditors? Why is it necessary for us to have auditors? Trillion naira in NDDC. I feel pained because I'm from that area. So it's like the people managing us. These are monies that would have gone a long way in developing my region, and it's missing. The auditors have found it. That look, this thing is missing, and it's just a report. Another piece of paper.
The report borders on year 2000 to 2023.
No matter, as far as it's NDDC.
Yeah, and 6 trillion naira is
6
That's
trillion.
humongous
That
amount
is
of money.
humongous. That's a whole lot of money. If you put 6 million naira in a 20 by 20 room, it will fill it. No matter the denomination, you know, it will. That's a lot of money. And that is money that was targeted for developmental projects in that region.
That's right.
And it's not so. Serap, ask the question over and over again. Don't stop asking. It shouldn't be a one-shot thing. Next week, ask. Week after, ask. Keep asking until something happens.
That's right. Because, Ria, you know, failure to publish the audit report undermines public trust and confidence. And this, if they are able to publish it, then people would, you know, they'll trust the government. They'll feel, yes, the government is on our side, you know, helping us to determine or to be able to detect the real thieves.
But why have an audit if you're not going to publish it? An audit is not to be kept secret. It's not for secret, it's for the public. And if these things are not done, people will continue losing faith. Because if you see comments even on social media about this, and I had to go on X to see the comments, and Nigerians are definitely losing faith. And when we talk about the NNPC, the corruption that happens there is not a joke. The amount of money you hear there, it's not even a joke. When this book was written, we all spoke about it on this table that, oh, why didn't he say anything while he was in office? But then he cannot say anything while he's in office. We don't want the set of people on the NNPC to leave, and another book is written about what is happening. How do we crop out, the amount of corruption happening in the NNPC? I feel like we can do this by audit. We can do this by transparency. Nigerians need to see these monies are monies that will have gone for development, infrastructure, the betterment of all of us, me and you. So I feel like it's right time that audit needs to be brought out. It's not a secret. If you have conducted an audit, and Serap, you need to continue asking those questions because these are very vital questions. I feel like if you continue asking, answers will be given.
Absolutely. Olamide, because of our time, let's race on. But because it's actually under Section 15, subsection 5, that mandates the federal government to ensure that they are able to, abolish all corrupt practices. But Olamide, if you look at the Punch newspaper, it's saying that 10 states borrow 417 billion naira despite higher allocations. We have Rivers, Taraba, top debt surge as 10 states account for 34% of subnational domestic debt. Since the removal of fuel subsidy, most of the states, virtually all of the states, are now receiving more than, let's say, times 3 of what they used to get as allocation. What do they have to show for it? Now they're still going ahead to acquire more debt. But what do they have to show for it?
That is a very, very pertinent question that we must ask. And just now we discussed the importance of public trust, right, and transparency in governance. This is why, because you're taking more money and there's no sort of output or tangible help towards the people. I'm just going to, I don't know if you guys saw the news online with Wike commissioning a project in Abuja. And I just feel like there's a lot of commissioning. They make these big deals about these projects that they're doing, but it's not tangible and it's not helping people. And I'm tired of seeing
How do you mean it's not tangible? It's not tangibility, you can see it, you can feel it.
It's not lasting policy. It's a road, it's a piece of infrastructure, it's great.
But according to them, and according to economists, when they say when we go to the farm, we take farm produce, we're able to ply the roads, easily and then get to our destination very easily. Even if you're not a farmer, if you have an appointment, you're able to get there, saving,
And so our leaders should spend about 6 hours commissioning this. We should spend 6 hours.
Okay, so the issue is not what they are commissioning. The issue is
amount
the commissioning ceremony itself.
For me, a commissioning should be people start using that road immediately. Get it up and working. Get things moving. I don't want to.
No, it does happen. When they're done, you see people plying the roads.
But what I have seen outside Nigeria is most commissionings you see is when private organizations are involved in building
PPP,
a very big infrastructure, but when it is governments doing it, they just
But when you talk about when Wike is involved, what do you expect? What do you expect?
But people say we don't know what the government is doing, and
so they are showing us.
They're showing you what they are doing. This is what we're doing. So
look, those things are roads.
Okay.
People see people use them.
I think we're out of time. So Daily Independent says experts warn of deeper hardship despite IMF optimism on Nigeria. We know the IMF, International Monetary Fund, with their prognosis, saying sometimes they are agents of darkness. Sometimes they give you the good news. But this time around, they're giving us good news that, yes, we're heading to a very good world because looking at the economic, indices and the reforms. But that's what I'm saying. We need to treat this with cautious optimism.
Yes. Have you seen somebody you've not seen for a long time and the guy says, "Man, you're looking good." Meanwhile, you have only 10,000 naira in your account. I think that's what IMF did to Nigeria. And this body is saying, "Hey, now we're the inside."
They're saying that it will get better, but it will suffer first, but it will get better. So let's be patient.
You like the analogy,
IMF warns us every other week.
They are saying we should be patient. We will suffer.
All right, guys.
The goodness is coming.
All right, guys. Looking at Sporting Life, we have Cassano tells Napoli, get Lukman now, says Nigerian rounds, scores, makes assist. Atletico Madrid consider winger too expensive. Nigeria 3, Tunisia 0. Falcons cruise to emphatic win. Babajide Oshoala Ihezuo score. these are Nigerians, making us proud.
Yes, yes.
We love to clap.
We love it.
These are Nigerians making us proud, and 3-0. It's not a joke. So we want more, just the way we've been defeating Ghana, every now and then.
It's fine. It's okay.
In the past, I noticed there were a lot of European players, Brazilian players, but it's good to see Nigerian players taking up that world stage.
That's right.
We're not in high demand. Osimhen, Lookman, so many of them.
Absolutely.
I love them.
They're taking center stage, actually.
The Falcons have always. The Falcons make me happy. I wish it was the Super
They are
Eagles.
just.
The win when they have to.
Yeah.
The win when they have to. It's congratulations to them. And Lookman's story.
Yeah. It's like, get ready. I mean, get Lookman now. That's Cassano telling Napoli. So this is one of our own being sought after. We just want to see our guys,
do well and make a lot of money at it.
But we're asked to go now because of our time.
RIP Diogo Jota.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
So
That's right.
All right, but coming up on TVC Breakfast.